So for this cake, it's going to be a 2-tier cake, a 7-inch and a 5-inch cake. Right now I am crumb coating the 5-inch cake, and in a little bit I will start crumb coating the 7-inch cake. The 5-inch cake is just a regular vanilla cake with a regular vanilla buttercream frosting, and the 7-inch cake is a coffee cake with the mocha icing in the middle. And once I crumb coat them, I will put them in the refrigerator, and then I'll get them out and give them their final frosting coat ready for decoration. So the 5-inch cake, which is a top tier, I'm going to go ahead and make some neon green buttercream frosting, and I will be giving it the second coat of the frosting in that neon green. This is a neon colored cake, and the bottom tier is the one that I'm going to be splattering with the different neon colors. For this other part, I'm basically giving the 7-inch cake the final coating of the buttercream frosting, ready for it to be covered in the black fondant that I'll be using. I chose black because I think the neon colors will stand out a lot more on the black. Now let's cover the first tier in the black fondant. Okay, so this is the part where all the fun starts. So what I did here is I made a few batches of different colors in the buttercream frosting, the colors that I wanted to use on it, and I basically added some water to each little batch and making it very runny. So what I did is I put on some gloves, as you can see, wet my fingertips with the different frostings, and I just started splattering it on the cake. It is a very messy process because it'll go everywhere. So what I did is I put napkins. As you can see, I have napkins in the bottle and the bottom. I have a cardboard in the back of it so it can catch all the splatter. And I basically just alternated between colors, as you will be seeing. And yes, it was a messy process, but it actually got the job done, and I was very happy with the results. Okay, so now that I finished all the splattering, I kind of wanted to give you a little behind the scenes of where I was working. This was my workstation. As you can see, I have the white cardboard in the back, which was there to catch all the extra splatter. I have all the napkins underneath. That pink board is also not going to be used. It was just there to catch all the extra frosting that I was throwing around. But I was very happy with the result. It's actually exactly what I was going for. And I wasn't sure about the technique initially, but it worked. So for this part of the video, I'm gonna put in the dowels, which is the support that this one needs so that the top layer can resist it and it won't like fall. So I like to use these, they're boba straws, but I mean there's different ones, but these ones are pretty sturdy and they're pretty hard. So these I like to use on smaller cakes because they work just perfect. And then I just get some scissors. Scissors will cut them just perfectly. And I start cutting right at the levels with the cake. just push them down, and voila. So this is where the second tier of the cake will go, and that's how you make it safe for it not to plunge, for it not to collapse. That's it. Okay, so now I'm gonna stack. I kind of like to choose the front of the cake. Obviously, all sides need to look good, but I like to choose the one that has the best. I always like to choose the best side to be the front of my cake. And then this is our second tier right here. So we're basically gonna grab the second tier. And kind of help myself with this little spatula. And we're just gonna place it on top as such. And then once you have it on top, you have to sort of, you know, move it just so that it's centered. Without marking it. And I think that'll do. So I think this will be my front right here. And I've made some pink buttercream, as you can see here. And I'll just start doing like a little border to basically cover up the edges between the first tier and the second tier. It's just some basic piping. This cake right here is it's a small cake. It's a 7-inch bottom and a 5-inch top. So it's pretty small. And normally when this cake is gonna go somewhere, we're picked up and going elsewhere, I like to put a wooden dowel that goes through the whole thing. So I use these either, depending on the size, but I like to use these guys and put it through the whole thing all the way down, just so that it maintains steady and it doesn't top over or anything. So I like to use these little wooden dowels for when they're small cakes, and then I buy bigger wooden dowels for when they're bigger cakes, and I get those like at Michael's. And now, okay, so for this part of the cake, I'm gonna get the same pink buttercream, and I'm gonna write Victoria on this green part right here. I'm gonna go ahead and just, normally I stencil it in and I kind of mark it, but I'm gonna go ahead and freehand it right now. But this is a part that really scares me sometimes, because sometimes the cake could be a beautiful cake, very cool cake, but then the writing messes up the whole cake. Like, the writing makes the cake look ugly. It's happened to me before, and you know, I've practiced a lot and I've gotten better at it, but it can. So practice writing with, you know, while piping, so that that never happens to you. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and just freehand it. It is here for my house, it's for my daughter, so I'm sure she's not gonna be mad at me if it comes out a little funky. Okay, so look, here's the results. So I'm not horrible. I've gotten a lot better. And I think it looks just a little plain up here, so I'm just gonna put a little bit of pink sprinkles. And that is it. Oh, and I do have a topper, which is a 14 because she turns 14.